Ramble.
Jim Carrey is putting on a clinic, buddy.
Guano.
Guano.
And in this movie, he's basically a live-action cartoon.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever people say anything bad about this movie, they have to fight me. This is the one that I truly take personally.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures.
Yeah.
Garrick is back in Los Angeles.
In the studio.
That's right, LA.
What up? About to lay down fucking hot tracks, baby.
What's crazy is that Garrick came here to record and he was looking around and I'm like, okay, yeah, man. I mean, we moved around some furniture a little bit. He's like, no, this is the first time I've been at the studio at all. Which is crazy.
Yeah, never been here.
That feels crazy. That's
Never
how
been
long
here.
it's been.
I just love a cement floor building, you know?
You can't pronounce it cement.
Yeah, cement. Do you guys not say cement? You guys say cement? You guys say cement. Okay, that's fine.
It depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah. It really, I do switch up. I never switch up vase and vase. I'll never say vase in my life. If you say vase, you're a prissy little bitch.
I do, and I am.
Oh, God. There it is. As you sit cross-legged.
Yeah. In fact, I am a prissy bitch, and I do love calling it a vase.
No, it's great. It makes it feel more fancy. But I'll switch up cement and cement. Because my parents say cement.
Do you say, what's that fucking word? Caramel or caramel?
Mm-mm. It's always caramel.
Caramel. But then what's the delight?
Caramel.
I can hear caramel. That's what it was. Or just like caramel. I can say it.
Feels wrong.
Where it doesn't feel weird off of the tongue.
This is the problem when we haven't been together for so many weeks.
Yeah, we gotta
already
talk about
diverted.
stuff.
What the
That's
fuck?
true. No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
One more though. Your mom's sister is your
What?
Your mom's sister.
aunt.
Your aunt.
Ah. You know what's funny is that my aunt I call Aunt Lisa.
Ah, yeah.
But she's my aunt.
No, I
your
say
aunt?
I would never say Aunt Lisa. Ugh.
Yeah, I say
What are you, fucking rich
Aunt-
over there, you guys? Yeah.
I say auntie
Ooh, I like auntie.
or I say aunt.
But
This is
auntie
my
also
aunt.
is fun.
Yeah, auntie. Nah, cause like the accent that you have to say.
You're really digging deep for this.
I really am because I hear it more so auntie, but with just like because my parents have accents and
Miles
everybody
in
has an
post-production
accent.
right now is like cutting this.
Get it out of there.
Wait,
Just
Rick,
kidding.
your parents have accents?
Yeah, they have accents.
Wait, what?
Of
What
what?
accents do they have?
They speak patois and shit.
No shit.
Hey!
Yeah, dog.
We haven't met
Holy
your parents.
shit.
Yeah, they're my parents.
We haven't met
my
none of
I'm
mom-
us.
waiting for the invite.
My mom can switch in and out of it because of her job. She needs to be professional and all that bullshit. And then my dad, he's just like full on Trini
Professional.
shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Garrick is back in Los Angeles. Kelsey is off in the woods with spotty service.
She's in the woods.
I'm in the woods doing wood shit.
But she said, I will, no matter where I am, I will be here for this. Guys, they were talking about Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, the sequel to Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Alrighty
The
then.
only one. Fuck the first movie. This is the only Ace Ventura
fuck the
movie.
first. Fuck the first movie.
Really?
I mean, I've seen the first movie
It sucks.
2 or 3 times, right? I've seen the first movie 2 or 3 times. I have seen this upwards of 100 times. No exaggeration. It was one of the few VHSs that I had at home, as I've said multiple times on this podcast. And it created who I am as a person.
Wow.
I think that Jim Carrey is one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, if not the best.
Yep.
And I feel like whenever people say anything bad about this movie, they have to fight me. This is the one that I
Their job.
truly take personally. I will take it personal. It doesn't make any sense to me that you would not like the movie, and I would judge you if you didn't.
Oh, wow.
Truly.
Really setting the stage
Really
here.
setting the stage.
I know this movie so well. I can literally see the logo on the VHS tape, and like, I know the parts that were on our VHS that like skipped and made the lines go like across the TV, and we still because we wound it so many times with our fingers and shit. And my sister literally goes, "This is my favorite movie. Can I sit in the room while you do the podcast?" And I was like, "You won't be able to hear anything." So she's not here. But
she's just
this
off
is-
camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this truly is, I think, why maybe Rick, you as well. I am so immature with comedy because
wanting to get into comedy in the first place. This was it.
Watching like Jim Carrey be an absolute like maniac. All I kept thinking about when watching this again last night was I feel so fucking bad for Gen Z because they will never truly know.
They'll never know the effort, the time, and nobody's really going for it like he was in this movie. Maybe him in the Sonic movie. That's about as close. But he's like, he's a little older now, so he can't do a lot of the movements and stuff, but oh my God.
I'm floored. My jaw is open for several reasons right now.
What?
Okay.
Because I had no idea that this movie meant so much to either of you, let alone both of you.
Yeah.
I was texting with Garrick about his grand return to LA, his first time in studio in months, and I said, "What movie?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Goofy movie." No, wait, this movie. Wait, no. My God. And he's like, "I got it." Ace Ventura when Nature Calls. But I didn't know what it meant to you. And also, I feel like both of you steadfastly asserting that it is better than the first one.
It is better than the first one.
And fuck the first one. That is an unpopular opinion, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the first one has, I mean, its main thing is like a trans situation, right?
That is part of the ending, which is not fun.
Unfortunate, yeah.
And it's like a dolphin. It's like,
has
that's
not aged
fun.
well.
Yeah.
Well, the first one is iconic, right? It has like Laces Out Dan. It has the football tie-in. And I remember the first one a lot better. In fact, I basically was watching this movie fresh for the first time. It felt like. I remembered a rhino giving birth to him,
which is
incredible,
truly funny.
But the rest was very fuzzy in my memory. I mean, I probably saw this in theaters. I was a child. I probably left to pee 3 times. Wanted popcorn, whatever. Like,
this was before theaters for me, baby. I was in the TV room, just sitting there. I didn't have a TV room, just the living room, living room.
and you just had sitting there, the VHS slot and everything.
Yeah, and I was just super close to the TV to the point where my parents would be like, "You gotta move back."
And you know that was all false. You can't, like, your vision doesn't get fucked up if you sit super close to the TV.
It's a lot of shit before the internet, you know?
Okay, can I tell you, my buddy brought his PlayStation over, like his old PS4, so we could play Fall Guys, which is a delight. Let's fuck with that. Let's do it. But his controller wasn't charged, so I had to plug it in and sit in front of the TV like I was 11 again.
Yeah.
And the nostalgia of sitting cross-legged on the floor, playing, like staring up at a TV, that is so real, and I love it.
It makes shit so much better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm really actually curious how you're going to give the log line to this one, because I would like to hear it as if the first one didn't exist. Like, I would really just like to hear it for anyone who's never heard of or seen Ace Ventura at all.
Yeah.
Just like, what is it?
So if you have not seen Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, I will say that the plot is somewhat secondary to the antics.
It really is.
Which is fine. Which is understandable. Because Jim Carrey is putting on a clinic, buddy. He is going for it so hard to where you're just like, I'm just going to sit back and watch him do his due.
I didn't know.
Who gives a shit? I had no idea.
I didn't know what's going on. I didn't know. I literally asked Jared. I've watched this movie 100 times like you, Rick, and I had to ask Jared. I was like, wait, so who's that? Why does he have to find the thing? And who's that guy?
Right.
The premise is too smart. It's too smart.
It's too smart for what the movie is. Truly.
For child
Because like I was getting jokes that I hadn't gotten because I haven't seen this movie in like 15 years.
Dude,
so I was sitting there dying. I didn't know he was beating off in the corner. Me neither. Like, I had no idea. I was like, oh God,
and how about the whole fucking gorilla R word scene that happens?
Right.
And I was like,
God, we can't.
All right. I'm sorry.
Just gonna let that slide. Okay, sorry.
Both of those are points that must be explored, but I guess we can put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Do the log line.
Okay. Ace Ventura, of course, is the world's greatest pet detective, a man who understands and loves animals truly. Pet detective. He is hired by a consulate somewhere in Africa. I didn't catch where. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. It's all of Africa.
Vaguely Africa.
I mean, they don't know.
Yeah. Where a tribe has had their sacred bat stolen.
The Wachatis.
The Wachatis. And so Ace must find the bat to prevent two tribes from going to war. But we do find out that it's because a villain wanted to push the natives out of the cave so that he could extract the bat poop for money.
Oil.
That's right, baby. Colonialism is alive and well.
Yeah, like
Ace
that's a deep cut. That is a deep log line.
Yeah, it's great. This movie should be called
premise.
Ace Ventura, These White Men Are Dangerous. Oh my God. Oh, I love this movie.
Here's the thing. Okay, like just to start out, I'm just going right in with guilty pleasures. It was like, I remember, like as soon as I was like, oh yeah, fuck, we're gonna see a lot of like
some stuff.
George of the Jungle shit where I'm gonna be like, oh man, but like there was some redemption in that the white man is the villain.
Yeah.
He does call him out, and I forgot that he fully punches a white man and then wears the man like a scarf around his shoulders.
Yes, the Monopoly
and then I was like,
so wait, if people don't know that moment, Ace as a...
Because if you hear it, it sounds like gobbledygook. It sounds like we're insane.
Ace is bleeding heart for animals, and so he sees a woman at this rich soiree wearing a fox fur, and she goes, well, you should try it sometime, darling. And he goes, okay, punches her husband in the face, knocks him out, slings him over his shoulder, and wears this tiny man like a shawl around the party. And it, as is true with almost every bit in this movie, really milks it for a full 90 seconds.
I love every scene. He's just chewing the fuck out of the scenery. I love it.
I could have watched another hour. Put another hour to the time frame of this movie. It was glorious. And that was
2
like
2 hours and 33 minutes.
That was my overarching pleasure, was like, yes, it doesn't stand the test of time like a lot of our favorites do, but the comedy is so it's so baked into the movie that I did not count more than 15 seconds without a joke or a physical comedic moment.
And I think that that's very much lost to things nowadays where they're just like, nah, it's all
grounded.
Plot, it's all story. All of this stuff is grounded. We're not doing any funny faces. And then you skip to Jim Carrey, or that one clip where he's in an interview and some kid came up to him and was like, hey, how long was the Grinch makeup? He was like, makeup? I do that shit with my face. Like, and he just makes a fucking Grinch face. And you're like, oh God, like people just don't have control over their faces like he does anymore.
As a comedic actor, he is...
Too much Botox.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, maybe second to none in what he can do physically as a comedian. And in this movie, he's basically a live action cartoon. Yeah. There's the jokes of the movie, and then there's just the comedy of him. And I want to talk about both. But some of the stuff that he did, like the way that he walks, the little...
my God.
Like, he bobs his head as he goes. Garrick and I are both doing it if you're watching on YouTube. But
that's the Night at the Roxbury shit.
Oh, nice.
That's the Night at the Roxbury shit. I saw some kid on TikTok is doing it now in like the streets of Manhattan. And I fucking love it. He's just walking out and it's so fun. But
he's basically, I mean, the movie opens with him scaling a mountain. Yeah. He sees a little baby bird. He mama birds regurgitated worms into the bird's mouth.
Of course.
And then tries to save a raccoon's life. And the raccoon dies.
The raccoon dies, and that sends him into a spiral. And now he's like...
My one guilt that I had, besides like the premise was too thick for a child skull, was that the raccoon did not get paid enough. I guarantee you.
The raccoon acting is phenomenal.
It's great. I mean, all of all the punch-ins on the raccoon's face are great. He's like, oh no!
Like, the raccoon is fucking acting as if he is falling off a mountain. He's on a green screen. Like, so granted, he wasn't in any danger, but this motherfucker was hanging by a tiny raccoon harness and giving me face, emotion, highs, lows, and I was like, this is a real animal that they are using, which you also don't see anymore. Everything is CGI to high heaven, and nothing is fucking.
In the climax of this movie, they have an elephant burst through a wall like the fucking Kool-Aid Man. And I'm sitting there thinking, how did they train that elephant to do that? It's amazing.
No, man. They just said go, and then he just went through the wall. There was no
rules. This was like pre-PETA.
I mean, so one thing that I really loved about this movie is that it refuses to let any moment of exposition go by without stupidity.
Yes.
And so to Kelsey's point before, like the denseness of this plot of stealing the bat and all that, like there's a lot to get through.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey is not interested in it for a moment.
At all. No. And he sets it up in the beginning of the film when he's doing the initial exposition and explaining my guy's name and explaining why he's being hired. And he's just eating sunflowers and doing fucking Sean Connery, not Sean Connery.
Twilight Zone references on the plane.
On the plane and fucking, it's just great.
The one that made me laugh the hardest is there's a scene in a projector room and he starts making little shadow puppets.
Yeah.
And the guy little crocodile. And the guy who's giving the presentation is fed up because he's been doing this for like the whole day now. And then Jim Carrey slowly puts his hands up and starts tweaking his nipples. And you can't not laugh at that.
It's hilarious. Guess what the first thing Jared did to me today when I woke up was?
Great. I
was like, I can't believe that this movie truly transports every single person back to their 12-year-old brain.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
And I think, you know what it is? And I think it's because Jim Carrey plays him like what a child wants to be when they grow up.
Yeah.
He is just a giant kid. The way he acts in every scenario in this movie, Ace is a fucking kid.
Yeah.
You're so happy.
I'm so happy. I can't even analyze it as a oh my God, critic.
A critic.
We're certainly not that.
We're not that, no. But I can't even analyze it outside of the enjoyment.
He's even like a child in the most serious of situations, right? Like, so you open up, he's like scaling the mountain thing. He drops the raccoon. So he's fucked up in the head. So he has to go to a monastery with monks up in the mountains. And even there, he becomes like the most ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if it's offensive. Right. I don't really know monks like that. I did meet a monk in Venice. That's another story.
It is like, it wasn't a monk. It was a dude.
This movie does fall into something the 90s loved, which was the enlightened Asian trope.
Yes.
Right.
So
I loved how they were all happy when he was leaving.
When he left. So that's what I liked. Is anytime there was something where you're like, God damn it, this isn't like today. You're like, oh, but wait, there's more that maybe makes it like laughable for everyone. I don't know. I'm probably saying
it's like they're making fun of it.
Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Because you love this movie so deeply, I'm just going to ask some questions.
Yes.
So, and this is for both of you, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So did you quote this movie as a kid? And
all of the
every day.
Fucking time.
Guano.
Die, devil bird. Like that type of shit. I was constant. It was truly constant. And I memorized a lot of like the punchlines in the movie.
If you did not say, okay, then, okay, now bye-bye then when you were...
Yeah.
14.
Bye-bye then. The first Chicago scene.
Oh my God. Chicago. Shawshank Redemption.
No, Shawshank Redemption. Chicago. You're out of here. Go on.
And now who are you doing? Is this like you and your brother, you and your friends?
Anybody that would listen. Truly anybody that would listen. I remember the last scene where he's running away. Whenever I played like football with friends, I would do that shit as like my touchdown dance, like running into the just putting my arms
That's
out.
the thing is like his body is like a fucking Gumby doll.
Yeah.
I saw I rewound the credits because I'm a fucking nerd like that, but also I just want to see how many locations and people. They had a physical therapist on every different location because I was like, this man just contorts his body into ways that you're like, oh, you fucking know when he gets hit by the blow darts in the jungle and he falls and he literally has like dirt and leaves in his face. You're like,
right.
This man gave that every fucking take.
He did that. The scene where he does get like a blow dart in each arm and they're dead and he's just like flailing around. Like,
3 darts.
I still do that shit to this day. And then I just remembered after watching the movie where I got it from. It's just in me.
Every single day, Jared says this line that we did not realize came from this movie until last night. And it's when he's parking and he goes, like a glove. And we had no fucking clue. That's the beauty of this movie is you're going to realize shit that people say that are your friends. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is from that fucking 90s VHS comedy that like nobody has anymore.
And I think it came with our TV. Like it was like a Costco combo deal or some shit like that.
What a bargain.
Yeah, where it just it was like buy this TV and Ace Ventura too because
you got to play something on it.
Right. I don't think it did well, which is fine. I don't know.
Can I also say, I forgot to say, Rick, you already know this story, and anyone, the guilty whores who have listened to this know this too, is that last week I accidentally watched Liar Liar, which is also a fucking Jim Carrey highlight. So I was just
we kept it in family.
High.
Yeah.
You were just ahead of the curve, you know? The one that I didn't realize was from this movie that I have done is, and I fucking love it, at the climax, he drops this big bombshell and he goes, let me run that back for you. And he rewinds himself and then does the same line again. It's really funny. But
that's the other thing about this plot is like there is twists and turns because it really does lead you down this path that it sets you up where he finally comes out of retirement or whatever, like spiritual enlightenment, to go to Africa and like basically investigate these tribes that are missing their bat, and then it wants you to believe it's the other tribe and there's going to be this big tribe off, and then where the like twist comes in is so like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's such a payoff that you're like, I allow it and I believe it because I didn't like that fucking guy from the start, and I don't know why, even though he had a classic villain mustache and British American accent, I didn't like him to begin with.
Because I mean, the first interaction he has, he whips him, which is one of the funniest parts of the movie. Where he's like.
Because the guy, he whips his horse.
Whips the horse, and he was like, "Oh,
So Jim does it to him and goes,
Didn't seem that painful when you were doing it to the horse."
Yes.
So,
I feel like this movie must have made kids love and respect animals to a degree that we all should.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like as you get older, then you lose it, and that's a damn shame.
Right.
But this movie said, you know what? We share this fucking planet. How dare you treat animals like they're subservient to you?
And you know what I love about this one, which I also forgot, is that they made number one, the movie, the first movie, so again, like he's such a lover of animals that in this one they surprise you by making him have to hunt down the one animal that he hates. Fucking hates, which is a bat.
So funny.
Like,
you didn't say anything about that.
and like he gets all the way to Africa, and the guy's like, "Yeah, we're finding a missing bat. What did you think we were coming here for?" And Jim Carrey has to like fight this disgusting feeling he has about bats, which is so funny to me because he's this guy that literally will whip a guy with his own fucking horsewhip, in order to prove a point.
And also, like,
this was before he was in Batman, right? Because if it was after, that would be incredible.
Oh,
when he was the Riddler, let me check.
Him and Batman.
This is the same year as Batman. So that must have been a delight.
Yeah, where you can just take his hatred of bats from one movie to the other.
Yeah, it's all canon. Great. Ace Ventura loses his mind at the end of this movie, becomes the Riddler.
Yeah,
it is fact.
Yeah.
Here's I guess the biggest question I had when watching this movie again as an adult.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. The second biggest question.
Okay.
What was the first?
The second biggest question is who is this movie for? And what I mean by that is that he plays it like a kid. It's very
animated,
kid-like.
Yeah.
You clearly as a child adored this movie.
Of course.
There is a lot of very adult stuff in this movie.
It feels like the same thing as a lot of, weirdly Pixar movies where they have adult jokes.
It's all Disney and Pixar.
Okay.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and I know what you're getting at, where it's just like it's a little too vulgar and too like in your face adult.
This movie, has they talk a lot about virginity.
Yeah.
He at the end, it turns out, secretly took the princess's virginity.
Yeah.
You can't take virginity. It's not a thing to be taken. Sorry, I'll stop.
Yes, but the movie says that. But I do appreciate the correction, Kelsey.
Yeah.
We cut to him jerking off furiously in his hut.
Didn't know that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Didn't know that was what he was doing.
On the airplane, when we first meet him, she says peanut, and he thinks that she says penis, and he talks about how his is well-sized.
Yeah, I got one right here. It's a little bulky, but I consider it a carry-on.
Which is blatant sexual harassment. Don't love to see that from you, Ace.
No.
And then the inference, did I get this right? At the end, the bad guy, the villain, is in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Comes across a gorilla.
Yep.
Yes.
The gorilla smiles.
Absolutely.
The music cue is wee as the bush shakes.
Right.
And I believe that we are supposed to infer that the man is now the gorilla
sexually
is having
assaulted.
sex. Yes, thank you. By a gorilla. That is the ending. We all agree.
Yes.
This movie ends with a gorilla.
And like, call me crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
truly, it didn't bother me that the man he was a hunter of big game, exotic animals, and hung them around his fucking mansion in Africa, gets, fucked by a gorilla. Like, I'm okay with that as a woman. I'm like, you know what?
I still have a crush on Sophie Okonedo. I don't know if I'm
princess?
I'm pronouncing her name right, but like, she has dimples. Like, I don't know. That's a weird thing to like when you have them, but I'm just like, no, a girl with dimples immediately, of course. Like, it's just maybe it's the wanting to see yourself in your mate type of thing. Maybe it's a little narcissistic of me.
You have dimples.
That's what I'm saying. I have dimples, and I like girls with dimples. Sequoia has dimples.
Now I have one dimple. Does that do it for you?
That does do it for me.
I have one dimple too.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I have one.
I can't see it. It's too blurry.
God damn it. I'll fucking send a picture and it not be weird.
Do.
Yeah. Yeah, that girl, though, what I liked about their relationship is that she truly played like a fling. Like, there was no connection beyond like lighthearted
she was just
flirting.
Like, I'm just trying to fuck so that I can fuck the person next better. Like, she was like, I mean, I'm gonna be bad at this. I'm not gonna be able to please him.
And then she drops her tunic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reveals her breasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
tunic.
not enough of her.
No,
I wanted more of that character.
Not enough of her at all.
I'm confident they filmed more scenes with her, and they were like, it's either love story or more of Ace humping the air, and they were like, they want what they fucking want.
Yeah.
They can't give a love story.
Yeah. The scene that I sent you, where he's parasailing behind the car.
Garrick sent us so many audio and video clips of him just giggling. And it's not
Garrick,
this laugh that you're hearing. It's a high pitch.
Yeah, like because it's just a giddiness. I'll do the yak.
Do the yak.
Now. Yak. Yak. It's the last yak at the end.
Yo,
like always.
The amount of times I have done that on a fucking airplane, and I feel like flight attendants are like, I thought we were done with this. I thought we were done doing this.
I would always roll up a little, like, whatever, like the travel bag.
Magazine. Yeah.
Oh,
wait, Kelsey, was it the flight attendants that said we thought we were done with this?
Yeah.
Oh, so the flight attendants know that reference and they were like, they're getting it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Or when they're passing out peanuts, that's probably why they switched to fucking chips and shit.
United had, like, Delta had a
sexual harassment fucking claims up the wazoo.
Right, they just have Ace Ventura's face with a circle and a cross out.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Fuck
please just don't do it.
All right, guys, we're going to start serving Terra chips because Ace Ventura fucking ruined peanuts for us.
But yeah, in that parasailing scene.
What is happening?
So he's following a truck and he unnecessarily attaches himself to the back of a car so that he can just get the license plate. He could have zoomed in from the floor to see the license plate number or whatever. but for whatever reason, that reason probably being Jim Carrey,
antics.
He parasails behind it. Or maybe it's a reference to a spy film that we don't know about.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's too deep. It's too fucking deep. That was the one thing I missed about this movie too, is I was hoping for some outtakes after the credits, like how they did Liar Liar. God. Yeah. I wonder if we can find those on YouTube somewhere or something. Because I will watch Jim Carrey do I'll watch him read the Bible or the dictionary, whatever the most boring, unbelievable shit is.
But the thing that sucks with like bloopers, I don't think he's the type to break.
I don't think he would. In fact, I bet you this wasn't a funny set at all.
No, I bet this was like a lot of people just reacting to his stupidity.
Y'all gotta watch the Liar Liar outtakes, because there's one time where he breaks, and it's when they're having a shouting match, and the other actress calls him, like speaks, like goes off script and goes, "Overactor," and he like tries to still say his line, and then he hears it and it hurts him, and he just loses his shit, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're on to me there, on to me," and then he makes it a bit in itself. But that was gonna be my question. As people in this industry, I am heavily medicated. I know you guys do after school activities. Where does his fucking energy come from? Is it natural?
So it's just him.
I believe it's natural.
From what I've heard, or like every interview that I've seen, he's just been like, "Oh, I was really just trying to get my family out of this barn," and then like his dad was dying, I believe.
God!
During this whole situation while he was a kid, and he would make like faces and be like very energetic in what we see on screen right now, to make his dad's like death easier. Like it's pretty grim
comedy. The tragedy of comedy is that all of us do it out of like a deep place of fucked uppery, I guess.
It's funny you say that, because I don't know much about Jim Carrey's personal life, but as I'm watching this, I couldn't escape the feeling that you don't get such highs of comedy like that without personal life lows. And knowing that behind him giving 1,020%, like just everything in his essence, I know that there's probably profound sadness behind those eyes.
There's definitely a cocaine come down. Like that is coming from his body naturally. When you expend
come down
that amount
for sure
of like serotonin, or what's the oxytocin, like he has depleted all of that by now, I'm sure. Like that might have been why we hadn't seen him once he hit a certain age, right?
Well, and he also, like, at this era, and we'll get into a little bit in the fun facts, like, he was getting a little sick of the shtick that he was stuck in. Right. And that's why after this, we saw what to me is actually the best Jim Carrey era. Like, this led into The Truman Show and Man on the Moon. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm going to be even more serious. He tried to do The Majestic.
Sunshine.
Everyone ridiculed him. The movie totally fucking bombed. But then we got Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is the single greatest film of the last 20 years.
Jesus.
It's
the greatest fucking movie of all time. Thank you, Jim Carrey.
Jim
Carrey's made so many great movies. Holy fuck.
He's just been in our lives and in the background, and I don't think he gets his flowers enough. Like at all.
No.
Here's some flowers, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
This generation doesn't like know him because he really did kind of dip out for a minute. Right. And then imagine the Sonic the Hedgehog movie being the first time you fucking get to experience that.
And everybody's like, you love Jim Carrey, the dude from the Sonic movie? Yes. Yeah. I love him to death. I watched that movie 3 times because he was finally doing his thing again.
And because it was from the producers of Fast and Furious. So
that as well.
And put that together.
That's a holy trinity. And he's like, we got a blue thing going fast. That's all I needed.
Unpopular opinion. I think they should have kept the teeth.
Well. But okay, I gotta say this story, this parasailing thing.
I thought you had.
Oh
okay,
wow,
no.
sorry.
No. We went out for like a church youth trip or whatever. We went to Catalina to go parasailing.
Love Catalina.
Wow,
Catalina.
Rich.
It was fun.
You went to Rich Camp.
I did not go to Rich Camp.
Catalina is the Amalfi Coast of California, for those who don't know.
This was a day trip, and it took a few years of saving. So, no, but we went out, and it was me, a couple other kids, and my cousin, who I also watched this movie a lot with. And I don't know if anybody's ever been parasailing with a boat, but they attach the parachute to you, and then they crank you out. Like they just like you go out, and then they just like unravel or unreel this thing. And as I was going out, I looked my cousin in the eye, and I did like that little like little back shit, and the way he laughed, truly like just that was one of the best laughs I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Wow.
It set me on this discovery path of just being like, I need to just be funny because the way this made me feel.
Oh my God.
It was great. So
in that moment, Garrick said, I will be a stand-up comedian.
But honestly, it was like you have this on your VHS, and then my like moment of that, Rick, is like watching all that and then like recreating those scenes line for line on my VHS and then like putting my VHS in and being like, I'm a movie star. And then like, I never thought of comedy also being like a pretty thing. I was always like, you can't be afraid to look ugly. You can't be afraid to be like grotesque and rude and gross and farting and burping. And I think that like fucked me up a little bit because it probably lasted in my comedy a little too long to be like accepted by society.
No, it just changed. It just switched on us because I mean we still had like Raven Simone doing her shit in Raven's, well, not Raven's Home, in That's a Raven. And a lot of like the
this
Nickelodeon.
This is the second episode in a row we've mentioned Raven Simone.
A lot of the Nickelodeon live action kids and a lot of the Disney live action kids. And then it just switched on us. It switched over to the writing of and like delivering a line and delivering.
Then you get into the Judd Apatow era.
Yeah. Where it's just like, it's the words. It's not so much, it's the joke of it, not so much the comedic performance that you put on everything.
Yes.
Well, it's
physical
a lot more
comedy
slapsticky,
now.
and it went out of vogue.
Yeah. And that's fine. It's coming back a little bit, which is nice. Yeah.
I imagine that it travels a lot better internationally because it is so physical.
Yeah, right.
I feel like we should bring some physical comedy back, you guys.
We were talking about quoting as a kid. I'm just looking through my notes, and there was one line, spank you helpy helperton. Yeah. And I could imagine a kid saying that, and if my kid ever said that to me, I would slap him.
Really?
I would be like, I've done you right.
I was like, oh my God, if I had a kid walking around quoting that, as a kid, so fun. Yeah. As an adult with a kid,
right,
a nightmare.
Disrespectful.
Just the nightmare of all nightmares.
Yeah.
So I guess my biggest question while I was watching this movie, the number one, and I hate to bring the dark cloud of guilt over what is just a delightful, meaningful film for you guys, but is this a loving and or positive depiction of Africa?
No.
God
no,
damn it.
not.
I thought we were all avoiding it. I thought we were all just not saying anything.
No, it is not. But it is also talking about the colonialism of Africa.
Sure.
So it's just like, we're calling attention to a certain thing. I don't like the portrayal of the Wachutus at all.
Yep.
Because it's just like, they're savages. Look at them.
Violent.
They don't even brush their teeth. That's crazy. But on the other half of things, the Wachatis were just like, this is, a tribe. They're normal. They're normal people.
It was normal.
Yeah, they don't need to be taught anything. They know English.
Right.
We're fine.
They're like actually teaching him a lot.
A lot of
how
stuff.
To be a better person.
Yeah. It wasn't a lot, which was great. It wasn't a lot of, oh my God, I'm wearing a shirt, so that means that I get to talk to you any kind of way.
Right,
and that type of humor, that type of like punch downy humor.
Yeah.
He was always the butt of the joke in both scenarios, which is what made it a little less uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I feared watching it is because when Ace first comes in, they speak in their native tongue. Yeah. And he goes he just makes fun of it. He just goes la ba da ba doom ding da. And I'm like, does this movie give permission to little white kids to make fun of black kids and say that
and say these dumb things?
Of
and the answer is probably
it probably
did.
Yeah.
It's your fucking parents. It's your fucking parents that stopped that shit. So if you had shitty parents, then you're a fucking shitty kid who didn't understand.
Movies do have some responsibility for that too, especially
100%.
ones targeted towards kids.
Yeah.
And cigarettes. Look at what happened. Cigarettes are only cigarettes because of the cinema, but go on.
They look cool. But on the other hand, I have a hunch and I wonder, is this the first or one of the first movies where you as a young kid saw an African tribe like take as part of the movie, right? Like,
yeah, but then Sophie
Georgia
was
the
bad
Jungle.
as shit, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, look at how cute she is. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
no, and I mean that in a positive. Like, there weren't many movies that took place in Africa for us as kids. So
no, not at all.
I don't know if that's exciting.
But
at all,
I mean, it's also not exciting because it's just like, oh, is this the only way that we can be depicted on camera?
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of movies that portrayed Africa as just like a stereotypical African way. Like, I was like, oh, there clearly wasn't like a research assistant on this movie who was probably saying like, that's not the right color they wear, or that's not the headdress or whatever. Like, I feel like that was an overarching issue that we had in 90s movies, especially kids movies, is it was just like, this is a place and this is what the people are like. And we went, okay, that's what
enough.
it is. And again,
that's
unless
part of
your
why
parents,
I think Kelsey and I, as like dumb white kids, it took us so long to like, we knew, okay, there's the Americas, there's Europe, and then there's Africa. Like,
as a whole.
Like, there's so many fucking dumb white kids who thought Africa was just one country.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Didn't know the diversity and the makeup of all the different places in it. And
yeah, and I think that's like
serious,
that's why like this movie is one of those things that I think if you watch it as an adult who watched it as a kid, you're like more forgiving.
Yeah,
versus
100%.
if you were to watch this now as a teen, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Or I mean, I don't know how much they get away with. You know, like I really do question that if like somebody from the outside looking in didn't grow up with it, watched it, how would they genuinely react?
Ooh, hey,
that was my
guilty
experience a little
horse.
bit.
Yeah, yours is just like, you're just like, oh, this is gross. Or okay.
They made a joke about how the colony had never gotten sick until the white men came, and then Jim Carrey sneezes on someone's face.
Right.
And watching that joke now, also post-COVID, I was like, that is too far, sir. That joke is too much.
Yeah, but even then, I was just like, yeah, white people bring diseases. Like that. Like,
Like that's
what
the
happens.
Underlying message.
Yeah,
we
right.
fucked up everything.
If the joke never truly lands on the natives at all.
Yes. And like, not to bring being in Yellowstone into this, but because I'm in Yellowstone, like I can't help but constantly have the conversation with like my family or any other like white people we get around, which is like, let's be honest, fucking 90% of this place, of being like, wow, look how beautiful this is. Can you believe we fucking took this from some guy was just up on a mountain like participating in his beautiful ritual, and we just came over the hill with fucking horses and we're like, ours now. And then Teddy Roosevelt was like, we are going to preserve this with like no history and balance to this. And then in every gift shop there's like this tiny section that's like, and here's our Native American culture, and here's like where they bring in the design and and you're kind of just like, I don't believe you.
We got a Quinciocha, where we just got a term for white devil in another language. The amount of white kids I called that shit.
Hell yeah.
It's just,
did he just say the white devil, the white devil?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You speak what you do.
If for nothing else, then the movie gave you that gift.
It gave me that gift.
That is beautiful.
Right.
Amen.
I got some fun facts.
Let's hear them.
The movie was written and directed by one Steve Oedekerk, who is Jim Carrey's best friend.
Nice.
I didn't know that.
That's
and
very cool.
What I know him as is the writer, director, and star of Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Oh, fuck.
Which is, for my money,
that genius.
For my money, maybe the funniest movie I ever saw in theaters, and I'm not certain if it holds up, and it probably doesn't.
It probably does not.
But man, oh man, did that man make me laugh.
Yeah.
Another movie that probably has questionable portrayals of its people, but oh well. That really blew my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Do you guys believe writer-directors? Like, I have to imagine, like, to be a writer and then also be able to direct that thing is such a fucking...
Oh, and like direct yourself?
Well, not even direct yourself, just being a writer-director, I feel like...
Oh, yeah. No, I believe
it's such
writer-directors
a
100%.
thing.
No,
like,
I think that's a hand-in-hand thing where just like the whole time that you're writing it, you are kind of directing it in your head.
What I'm trying to be,
right.
dog.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to be. And everything I give away gets directed by somebody else.
Here's what I believe in writer-directors, obviously. Here's the one thing I do not believe emphatically. The auteur theory is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
No such thing. No one person makes a movie by themselves. You can be a great voice that brings a lot of people and has them align on a vision, but to say that, only you made this movie, man, go fuck off. There's so many talented people.
Right.
Even the way that the actors say the lines changes things.
Right.
Some bullshit. Before this director was brought on, filmmaker Spike Jonze expressed interest in directing, but Jim Carrey didn't know him well enough, ended up not choosing him. Carrey has since said that is one of his biggest regrets.
Of course.
Spike Jonze, of course, directed Where the Wild Things Are, Her, Being John Malkovich.
Yeah. It would have been a very different movie.
I can't imagine what it would have been.
It would have been the weirdest movie, but also
I'm actually glad it was Jim Carrey's best friend because I feel like there's a comfortability that you have.
Yeah, and then it's silly. You know, if it's a dude that made Kung Pao, it's as silly as possible. Yeah.
So this one may shock you guys. Jim Carrey only did this movie due to a contractual obligation, and he was not happy about it.
Yeah,
he was.
You can tell. You can tell he's not phoning it in, but he's just like, if you give me a note, I will walk off this set right now. I'm going to do the most insane shit. And you better put it all in. You better. I'm just gonna leave it all out there.
But what was he unhappy about with it? Because he just didn't want to fulfill the contract. He didn't want to do that. Unhappy with the movie.
He didn't want to do silly shit anymore.
Yeah. Well, and they said so. He realized they've tried to get him to do Ace Ventura's after this, since this, forever. And this movie made him realize he did not want to spend his entire life doing Ace Ventura movies. According to one of the actors, he really didn't want to make it, which made the onset very awkward for everyone. And one of the reasons that Jim Carrey said that he dislikes the sequel is that he doesn't like that Ace is afraid of bats, something that we all found very funny.
Yeah.
He tried to find other versions. He tried to convince them to change the script. He wanted to make him so that Ace was allergic to bats, which I think maybe would have made for a much funnier climax if his face was all puffing up.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he fucking did the not liking bats thing so fucking strong though.
Yeah,
then
that's crazy. That makes me respect him even more. That he didn't want to do it. He hated certain parts of it, and still just went for it.
Out of it.
He gave every time is like one of the most memorable moments. So like you're so right. That fucking makes me respect him more. That he fucking was like, I don't want to do this shit. Fuck you. You're supposed to be my best friend, and fuck you just because you're a network fucking executive here.
Yeah.
And then he goes on camera and is like, good for
fuck you. And here's the greatest comedic experience of the 90s.
Okay.
Carrey was also nervous about the film's depiction of African characters and that people might take offense. He's even surprised the film has not been outright banned.
Wow.
Well, we might have just sparked a movement here, getting people to
Right. We might. I mean, I'm okay to admit when I'm wrong.
I know what Jim gets it. Like he was on In Living Color. He gets it, man.
Of course.
You seen his paintings?
I've seen his paintings.
No, I have not.
They're pretty good.
He's wild. He's a very outspoken anti-Trumper and makes a lot of
I knew
super
that. I liked that.
Surrealist, over the top caricature-esque paintings.
Right.
Wait, can I give a fun fact? I know something.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the budget of this film?
No.
I know this one. I have this.
Because you looked it up, right?
Yeah.
It was made for only $15 million.
Oh my God.
And guess how much it fucking made?
45?
75.
Oh, wow.
So your stat is a little wrong. It was made for $30 million, but 15 went to production, 15 went to Jim Carrey.
Shit. Is that part of the contract, or was that?
Yeah, he renegotiated because his best friend who went on to direct the movie was like, yo, you should just renegotiate that.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me every movie budget that we hear includes the actor's salaries?
Yeah, of course. And a good amount of it is the actor's salary. Look at any Marvel movie.
That's what I was just thinking of.
A good quarter of that goes to Robert Downey Jr.
Even the ones he's not in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't know how I feel about that. I need a moment to sit on that because, like, I feel like every time I've heard a budget for a movie now, I'm thinking, like, how much is the actor getting versus, like, the fucking AD or fucking DP or the person like the grip and the
way more. Okay, well,
absurdly more.
Well, as an actor myself,
yeah, Garrick actually just got back from set.
As an actor myself, when I tell you it was the most grueling experience of my life, and that they deserve every fucking penny that they make.
Wow.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yes, and also pay the crews because that's what's happening right now is they're about to go fucking on strike.
Right. And a lot of the times actors will like forgo a good amount of their salary to pay the crew a lot more. But
I just feel like, if it's tough for an actor, like imagine being the guy that gets no fucking credit. Right. Or fame or bitches, am I right, Rick?
No.
All right.
Well, guys, we could clearly talk about this movie for much longer, but we have a time to keep to. And that's the big overlords are standing behind us. They're flashing the lights. They're saying, "Wrap it up, you
the
motherfuckers."
Overlord. You own this podcast network. It's you.
Hey. I'm
That's
not comfortable
the boss.
being in charge of anything.
Okay, so who goes first? I feel like Rick and I don't know actually. I'll go first. God damn it, I might get in trouble for this. I think it's a pleasure. I think it's a pleasure.
Oh, man.
It made me laugh a lot. Okay, it's a guilty pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah. It's a very pleasurable
guilty pleasure. Yes, I feel like guilty pleasure 0.5 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it created me. It is who I am.
And you hate your fucking you have generational trauma. Like everyone fucking hates their
100%. There are some things in it, and I will accept them and ride for this movie so hard, because it's just so pivotal to my childhood.
Zachary?
Yeah, I mean, your guys' love is totally infectious. I unfortunately I didn't love it as much as you guys did.
Oh God!
Thank God we didn't get to that part.
Yeah.
I also when Garrick started texting us clips of him, I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this alone? Because that's not what movies are. I think comedies and horror films especially, it's a social experience.
And that's a beautiful thing because it definitely brings you closer to anybody that you're watching it with.
Yeah.
Because you're like, look at this guy. Look at him dancing. Look at him on the floor crawling around.
And I'll be damned, now knowing what this means to Garrick, I will be quoting the fuck out of this movie around him, and it'll be the cheapest smile.
I'm not saying that like maybe for Halloween I should do something.
You should.
There's with this new hair, I think I could rock a Jim motherfucking Carrey.
Okay, last year for Halloween we were going to one party. Like it was an outdoor party and it was fucking COVID. So I'm like, I don't have a costume because why even bother? The world's ending.
Don't waste
but
money.
Last minute we got invited to Keith's backyard. So we're like, all right, I guess I need a costume. I threw together some of Maggie's clothes and did a perfect Ace Ventura costume.
Oh, wow.
And had enough hair that I hadn't groomed to make the little spikes.
Yeah.
So I got some clothes I can loan you.
Nice.
I would like to see photos of that. And also I noticed that
at Corn Diddy.
Rick, you also said earlier gobbledygoosh, which is the only other person I've ever heard say that word is Maggie.
Oh, gobbledygook?
And I really like that. Yes. I've never heard anyone in my life say gobbledygoosh except for now you two.
I think it's gobbledygook.
Gook, yeah.
What the fuck ever. I like
gobbledygoosh. I've never heard.
That sounds like a weed strain.
Sounds like
gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, guys, that is all the time we have for today.
Miss you guys.
But very importantly, we need you to rate the show. We need to tell your friends about it. Leave us a review. Please. It does help people find it. And really, we would love to know what movies you want to see coming up. We've got some ideas. We've got a whole spooky month in October to fill. Holiday season's around us. I think we're going to do a sequel sprint. That's right, baby. We're going to do sequels to all of the best movies that we've done so far.
Oh, shit.
But, we're always open to suggestions.
This is news to me. I'm excited. Now you got me thinking about all the Christmas movies, too. Oh,
well, because here's the thing. December's like sweeps, right? That's like our bit, when you put your heavy hitters. So I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do Twilight 2.
We should, get a bunch of drugs. We should sit at the Try Guy's office, put a projector screen down. We'll make, peppermint popcorn and hot cocoa, and we'll watch 7 movies and then stay up all night and then just record 7 episodes.
Oh God. I mean,
That sounds awful.
Yeah. That sounds crazy.
Objectively a terrible idea.
Sounds like a bad idea.
You guys don't want to sleep in like sleeping bags on the floor and hang out?
Do you want us to all be like
sleepover?
delirious for an episode? That could be fun.
I think it might be fun.
We can do like a sleepover episode.
Sleepover episode.
I'm
But
at
then we all
Corday
go
on all
home to our
things.
bed.
I'm Garrick Bernard on all the things.
I Kelsey Darragh on all things.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Yes.